My name is Travis Chappell. I'm the owner-operator here at TNT High Country Flying Service. We run 2 spray planes out of this location, and we spray all the potato fields and the wheat and the barley and the hay here in southeast Idaho. So my background is I graduated high school in 2000. And I decided at that point I was going to be a carpenter, so I started working over in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then I met my wife there shortly after that. So she and I was working as a carpenter over in Jackson. We lived here in St. Anthony, Idaho, and I made the commute every day. And then in 2003, I took 2 weeks off. The company I worked for, we got 2 weeks off paid vacation every year. So in 2003, I took 2 weeks off to frame my own home because I was only a 2.5-year carpenter. I certainly wasn't a journeyman at the point, but took 2 weeks off to frame our own home that we were building at the ages of, I think, 19 and 20. We were young, and I never went back to work. I had so many jobs lined up in that short amount of time that I called my boss and told him that I wasn't coming back to work, and so I did construction full-time, building homes up until 2007. Late 2007, the economy fell apart. Crop dusting has always interested me, but I'm terrified of flying. I was terrified of airplanes. It's always interested me, you know. When I was on my way to work in the mornings, I'd stop and watch Neil spray the fields up there on Klingler's and, you know, what's now the Crapo farms. Anyways, it was always an interest to me, but I didn't think, you know, not really anything of it. But when the economy crashed in 2008 and I was doing construction full time, I thought I wanted to do something a little more steady, I guess. And so I just kind of started brainstorming and thought, maybe I'll be a crop duster pilot. But I had to get over this fear of flying. So one of my good friends' dad, Gary Sutton, you're in this, he actually convinced me to get in his 152, which is sitting over in that hangar right there, and that was in 2007, the fall of 2007. And it only took one flight, and I was addicted. And so at that point, the economy had crashed, work had slowed down doing construction. So I went back to school and got my commercial license, got my applicator license in Kansas that year. That's where I started. And I went to work as a crop duster, not knowing a dang thing about what I was doing, but I survived it. I'm here to tell the tale, I guess. So that's pretty much it. And here we are, 14 years later. And yeah, that's how we got started. You know, that day when Gary and I went up, when Gary took me up, it was a super calm morning. And I don't know, I felt like I wasn't up in the air. Like, you kind of feel like you got hooks out holding you up. I felt really safe. And so that was, I wouldn't say I got over it. I didn't get over it immediately. It took some time. But as I started flying a little more, Gary took me a couple more times, and then Brian Barchi had actually taken me another time. Neil had taken me, and I just kind of got over it. And at that point, it was like, I think this is what I want to do, you know. And then once I started crop dusting, I got really scared again. I really did. I enjoyed flight school. I enjoyed the whole process of going and getting my commercial license and getting my agriculture ratings. That's one thing I should have mentioned in there. You got to have an agriculture rating and a Part 137 sign-off along with the commercial license. But I enjoyed the training. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then it wasn't until I got that job in Kansas in June of, I believe, 2008 is when it was, June of 2008. Then I got scared again. But it's real, you know. You realize one mistake and it can cost you, you know. It can cost your family, and so that was heavy on me that first year. I wouldn't say I was scared of the flying. It just all of a sudden that had kind of weighed in on me, like, boy, is this really what I want to do? Because, you know, and then as the time goes on and the years go forward, and your first year you're terrified, your second year you're kind of like, okay, I got this, I'm figuring this out. And your third year you're typically, that's your most dangerous year, is your third year, because you've got it and you start to get comfortable. First year you're rookie, second year you're getting there, and your third year all the pieces of the puzzle are making sense. And I feel like the reason the third year is the most dangerous year for a crop duster pilot is because your guard may come down a little bit. You know, I never hit a power line until my third year, and my guard had dropped, and that's what happened. I was tired. I was missing my wife, and I knew the power line was there, but just got thinking about other things and went through it. It makes them proud, I think. They don't worry about it. I know that. My wife doesn't worry about it. She supports everything we do. But also at the same time, my wife's very outgoing, live life. She's kind of an adrenaline person, and you only get one shot in this life, so she totally supports it. My kids, they don't have any anxiety about it. And I was worried that they would have anxiety about it, but they don't. It's a pretty safe industry. It's not like the crop dusting of the early days. I mean, these engines are super reliable. They're very reliable engines. And just the technology's come so far that it's as long as we do as agriculture pilots what we're supposed to do every day, circle the field, make sure the obstacles, you know, and if you know, make sure we know where all the obstacles are, and if we're starting to get tired, you know, back it off a little bit. You know, and that doesn't mean quit when you get tired, because we have to push, but, you know, maybe not get so close to things when you're tired. Maybe not get so, you know, next to the power line, or, you know, give yourself a little bit of room going over the pivots when you get tired. And you got to know the line too, when to get out. And we know both Jeremy and I, we know that line when it's we're tired. We need to get out of this thing. And he and I are very similar, because we both have that go get it attitude. It's like, man, we've only got 3 more loads left, you know, and then these tickets are done for the day. And not very often do we leave tickets finished for the day, but I do feel like we're both responsible enough when we get to that point, you know, of tiredness and whatnot. You got to get out. My best, I don't know if I have a best memory. Honestly, maybe this year. I don't know. There's been a lot of good memories this year. I know the years past, crop dusting hasn't been easy for me. When I was working in Kansas, that was my first year. I was very scared. I was scared that year. My second year, I worked in Ontario, Oregon. My second, third, and fourth year, I worked in Ontario, Oregon, and I was the main pilot there, and still rookie. And so it was kind of tough, you know, because I didn't have really a mentor. I had Greg Beck, and he's a super good dude, but he didn't fly much, and he'd jump in, help out here and there, but it was kind of had all the weight on me. And then when I come here in 2013. And Neil picked up on my management skills pretty quick, and so he just kind of passed it off to me. And so Brittany and I have owned it since 2018, but we've managed it since realistically 2013, 2014. And so it's been a tough road. Crop dusting's been a tough road for me. There's been a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. I love the job. I love flying the plane, especially like the last, I would say, week. The air has been really good. There's been a lot of beautiful sunrises. There's been a lot of good sunrises, and so the sunrises are good to see. They make me happy. So Neil Shoup, he started Shoup Flying Service, I believe, in 1993. 2003-ish, 4-ish, Dad, somewhere in there. So Neil Shoup started Shoup Flying Service, I believe it was 93, 94. And Neil built this business. This was Neil's business, and Neil hired me in 2013. Neil's been a family friend of ours for quite some time. I've known Neil forever, and Neil hired me in 2013, and Neil got sick in 2017, and he passed away in March of 2018. And so at that point, my wife and I took over the business, and we changed the name to T&T High Country Flying Service, and that's how this all come about, was because of him. You know, we've done some improvements here, but you know, I mean, I didn't build this business. This was an established business when we got here, and I won't take credit for, you know, for what he had. Just, it was an established business, and right time, right place type thing. And so here, you know, and we've made improvements, and we've added some customers too. And so, you know, I feel like we're growing the business as much as I want to grow it. I'm as big as I want to be. I like having just me and Jeremy fly the airplanes and, you know, do the loads that we have to do and go home every day.